Welcome to the Darkstream. VoxDay, voxday.blogspot.com, and the recently restored Infogalactic. Sorry earlier today, but we had a little outage for about half an hour. Technical issues, not a big deal. We took care of it. Everything's restored. Everything's good. If you happen to be on Twitter, I would appreciate it if you would let people know that the scope has started, because Twitter currently has my account in Twitter jail, which means that I'm not allowed to tweet, retweet, or like anything. So anyhow, if you're going to let people know, that would be appreciated. So it was interesting today with Trump in France. I couldn't resist thinking, I wonder if we're going to end up with France by the end of the day. Apparently not. They didn't surrender. But say la vie. Yeah, actually, and that's something that is worth noting. It's a good idea to subscribe on Periscope as well as on Twitter, because Twitter is not always good about letting people know about the periscopes that are happening. And so, anyhow, let's talk about what's going on, though. 2 days ago, as part of the Daily Meme Wars, I put together a meme that we put out, and it was showing a Russian mask, and the Russian mask was taken partially off the woman's face, which revealed a cackling Hillary Clinton. Now, I was pretty sure that when they started talking about the whole Russian meetings of Donald Trump Jr., I was pretty sure that there was probably some level of Democratic, let's get rid of this guy. You know they're desperate when they start showing up. They start showing up and trying to troll your periscopes. Anyhow, it was pretty obvious to me that there was some level of dirty tricks involved, because there's a lot of in politics. There's a lot of a lot of oppositional research. This is totally standard, and one of the things that we see from the left all the time is that they're constantly looking to set their opponents up. That's how they try to win. Remember, one of the things that causes people to be on the left is that they are conflict avoidant. They don't like to compete because they are losers. I mean that literally. It was interesting. There's actually some psychological evidence, not just psychological evidence, there's actually physical and scientific evidence that people who are scarred when they are younger from failure and from stress causes them to have shrunken amygdalas. And one of the things that people with shrunken amygdalas do is they avoid direct conflict, and they try to win from, they try to win through disqualification. They try to win through kicking the opponent out of the game. And the interesting thing is that there's always a pretty good indication that there's something fundamentally wrong with these people, is that they're all on antidepressants. And so, this is just straight up science. This is not, I don't know what the cause is, but we can observe one of the results. And that is this conflict avoidant behavior where they are trying to set people up, and they're trying to beat people without directly competing with them. Okay? So we see this all the time. Why am I in Twitter jail? Because an SJW set me up, with the same way. I mean, the thing that's so stupid is I warned people about this. What I didn't realize was that Twitter has adjusted the rules. So the kind of tweet and the kind of meme that was perfectly acceptable 9 months ago is enough to get you banned now, or put in Twitter jail, whatever. But the point is, I mean, that doesn't matter. I'm not complaining about it. It just is what it is. But and this is part of why, this is part of why they don't define their standards. They don't want to define their standards. They want them to be nebulous so that they can act however they want, and you cannot use the rules to defend you. And this is also indicative of shrunken amygdala behavior, because again, what are they trying to avoid? They are trying to avoid direct. Who's this idiot? It just amazes me. I don't really understand what the point is of trying to troll like that. I mean, you're just going to end up blocked. But anyhow, the whole point. Yeah, I do actually. You're blocked too. It's always kind of funny, these people who are like, who want to shut things down and all. They're always so shocked when you just treat them however you want. Lesson number 1 of the alt-right: if a tactic is used against you, a tactic is legitimate. So don't ever hesitate to use the tactics of the left against them. Freaks them out every time. Anyhow, so the point is that they're constantly trying to win by manipulation and by avoiding all of this direct conflict. So anytime you see something like the Russian situation, anytime you see something like that, you have a pretty good idea who's involved. You have a pretty good idea that you've got somebody with a shrunken amygdala, however you pronounce it, trying to discredit and disqualify you, trying to set you up. Again, you see this on Twitter all the time. An SJW will jump in and say something. Like here, I mean, like we've just seen. We've just seen 3 or 4 left-wingers pop up and say something because they're trying to start something. They're trying to get you to do something that they can then turn around and penalize you for. And so that's why that guy said, "So you just block anybody who disagrees with you?" Yeah, I do. Like that. Don't even think twice about it. Why? Because I know what they're up to. I know that they're trying to get me. They're trying to get a reaction, and they want to have an argument. And then what they want to do is they want to try to get you to say something. They want to upset you and anger you to the point that you will cross a line that they can then go and take and complain about to an amenable authority. I have no idea how many books I've read. But, so this is, you have to recognize this. They're not looking for a fair debate. They're not looking for discourse. They're not looking for a meeting of the minds. In the case of Donald Trump Jr., they weren't looking, to get anything from him. They were just trying to set him up. They were hoping he would say something or do something that then they could then turn him in for. Now, of course, they weren't. Here's the thing: Donald Trump Jr. was not the target. He was the way in. They were hoping for somebody who was farther up the chain. Donald Trump Jr. is a private individual. He was not a campaign employee. He had nothing to do with it. Okay, let's get to how this links to the Obama administration. Now to point out, I was wrong. I assumed that the DNC was behind it. I assumed that it was Team Clinton behind it. However, it has now come out because, of course, the God Emperor has access to all the various agencies and stuff. It has now come out that this, what's her name, Tanya Velisenkia or whatever it is, it has now come out that she was given free entry to the USA without a visa by the Obama administration. Valerie Jarrett, who is basically Clinton's consigliere, arranged to bring her into the country, especially. So what does that mean? It means that she is a tool of the Obama administration. The whole thing was a setup, and the Obama administration was attempting to do something. Now it's possible that it is possible that this was used as just an excuse for the FISA warrants. We know that they had to have an excuse for the FISA warrants. Maybe this was it. Maybe this was used as a justification for that. But that probably wasn't the primary goal. The primary goal was they wanted Donald Trump to bite. Why did they wait for a year for this attack? Because they don't have anything else. Also, remember, they didn't plan for all this information to come out directly. Donald Trump Jr. brilliantly defanged their ability to control the narrative by dumping all the information out. They were expecting him to do what the politicians usually do and try to cover it up. Remember, what is the rule of cover-ups? It's never the crime, it's the cover-up, right? Well, there wasn't even a crime. They can't even pretend there was a crime. Even the people who are saying, "No, Trump must resign," there's no crime. People have said, "Well, what is the crime?" There is no crime. Well, the cover-up is worse than the non-crime, but there is no cover-up. I mean, the guy completely released all of his emails to the public. And now what they're trying to do, here's the thing, you got to keep in mind, I don't know how many of you guys have children or if you're around kids enough to notice this, but how many of you have seen a little kid try to get out of trouble? What do little kids do when they get caught in trouble, when they get caught doing something they shouldn't, and you start asking them questions about it? They lie. And they deny it. But here's the thing. What do? What kind, is the lie that they tell, is it ever a multi-level lie? Or is it a very, very simple lie that you can easily penetrate? It's always incredibly simple. In fact, often it is a second lie. They lie to try to cover the lie. But it's very easy to see that it's not possible. Okay, so the left is like that. Remember, the meme in the Daily Meme Wars today had a picture of a chimpanzee, and it said, watching the media, try to analyze Donald Trump is like watching a chimpanzee doing color commentary on a chess match. And this is the kind of thing I'm talking about there. Because now what do they do? Do they admit that they don't have anything? Do they admit that there's no crime, there's no cover-up, and there's nothing, there's just nothing there? How many people on the left have admitted that there's nothing there? Vance Jones is about it. he came out and said, it's a big nothing burger. There's nothing there. Did anyone else? No. But here's the thing. What are they doing when they're trying to say it's a political offense and foreign affiliations and foreign involvement in elections? Okay, who can tell me why that is going out of the frying pan into the fire? How is that a strategically and tactically insanely stupid thing for them to do? When you're talking about how we can't permit people to talk to foreign nationals about elections, bingo. Israel lobby, AI PAC, hundreds of dual U.S.-Israeli citizens. Okay? If you want to try to say that what Donald Trump Jr. did was a political offense, then you are going to have to do whatever the punishment is for that political offense is going to apply to nearly the entire Obama administration, the Clinton administration, probably 30% of the Senate, probably 25% of the House of Representatives, and probably 50% of the media, maybe more. All right? This has the potential to be the boomerang of boomerangs. I mean, can you imagine how many U.S. politicians had communications with an Israeli national during the presidential campaign? I mean, we're not talking hundreds. We're not talking thousands. We're talking tens of thousands. We're talking the whole fricking swamp. Now, there's not really anything wrong with this. Israel has a perfect right to try to defend its interests. The United States is the very last country that has any right to complain about another nation interfering with its elections. The U.S. has been interfering with governments and stuff for over 100 years. You remember the whole Banana Republic thing? The Banana Republics were the South American and Central American republics where the U.S. Marines were interfering with their elections and interfering with their governments. I mean, so first of all, the accusation is silly because there's no crime and there's no cover up. Secondly, the accusation is ridiculous and hypocritical because of the U.S. involvement in so many other countries' political processes. And third, the argument is strategic and a complete non-starter because the easiest country to turn around and direct it at is Israel. And Israel doesn't want that. No, nobody wants that in Washington. And so this whole Russia thing is going nowhere. It's absolutely absurd. And so and that's why Donald Trump was quite willing to go ahead and put that out. Anyhow, but you're missing the point. It's not about whether anyone is going to attack, Israel or the Israeli lobby or whatever. I mean, remember, they're not doing anything wrong either. But they don't necessarily want the spotlight to go on their activities because that is a politically sensitive thing to do. Remember, think about this. The media has been trying to whip the American people into a frenzy to try to, make them believe that foreign intervention in American elections is wrong, right? So if the people have been whipped up into a frenzy about it, then suddenly the light gets shined on AIPAC. Okay, that's not how they want to spend the next 6 months. That's not how they want to spend the next year dealing with, is this appropriate? Is this right? If it's inappropriate for Russia, why is it appropriate for Ukraine? If it's inappropriate for Russia, why is it is it okay for Saudi Arabia? Okay, so the whole thing is just nonsense. And so anyhow, I suspect that Louise's bleeding followers, really? I mean, I like Louise. I like her personally. But I think the whole never Trump thing is totally insane. Right? I don't know why this person keeps saying the same thing over and over again. But anyhow, no, I mean, I enjoyed the debates that I did with Louise on Heat Street. It was fun. I think she has a bit of troll in her, and so I mean, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if it came out that. But you're missing the point. Don Jr.'s emails are not taking anybody down. There's no crime. There's no cover-up. There's no issue. I mean, the media can beat... You have to understand, the media can beat its drum about whatever it wants. And when the media is beating its drum about stuff that's completely false, they will beat it in vain. And so, Trump's approval ratings are fine. He hasn't lost any support. Everybody knows the media has hated him all along, long before he even got the nomination. So it's just, there's nothing there. There is no there. And the more that we talk about it, the more the media is focused on it, the better. Because it's a lot better for the God Emperor to be dealing with this rather than direct opposition to one of his policy plans. He would much rather have the media focused on this kind of stuff while he does things like, nominate 11 Superior Court judges. I mean, think about it. All the insane stuff that they've been throwing at him, and in the meantime, he just went and quietly got a Supreme Court justice approved. DACA is going to get repealed. And the media is all flipping out over somebody who's not in the government. It's a good situation. And so you need to remember, the map is not the territory. The media is not reality. And so, one of the big things that Trump really should do is focus on an executive decision stripping dual citizens of their citizenships, giving them the choice. There's no law that permits dual citizenship. And I'm in the same boat as any other dual citizen, and I don't think it's right. I think that when you accept a new citizenship, then you should, as you used to, lose your old one. That's the correct way to do it. And the fact that it would affect me doesn't change my thinking on it at all. If you take a new citizenship, then that replaces your old one. So, anyhow, I don't answer questions about myself in that sort of context. And so, anyhow, so that's what's going on. Again, thanks, the Daily Meme Wars is growing fast. We're actually picked up more people today than we did yesterday or the day before. Okay, I'll answer that one. What was the first record you ever bought? I can tell you the first two. AC/DC Back in Black and Missing Persons Spring Session M. So, which in retrospect kind of explains why I like baby metal. But you put Dale Bazio together with AC/DC, and you have something that's not really that far from baby metal. So, we use the Meme Wars tag, but we use the Meme Wars tag. We're taking one step forward at a time. Right now, I think we're pushing 1,800 on the Daily Meme Wars list. It's going to be, we're going to have to get it to 10,000, I think, before it starts making a significant impact. But we will get there. Right now, the impact is a little bit limited because obviously I'm in Twitter jail, and so there's not, it's not getting the same broadcast. But it will. It's only 4 or 5 more days, and so we'll just keep. We've been using CNN Meme More too for those that are about memes. I will. We've got a good new meme tomorrow. Crack me up. So it should be fun. But anyhow, have a good day and have a good evening, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon.